I didn't give him the book, the Quran, our book. I didn't give it to him because I said it's forbidden if you touch it. After that, he said, why not? And I said, only if you become a Muslim. And then he said, your religion is so weird. Tell me more and more. So I began explaining more and more, but I can't go more details. Then he said, how can I be a Muslim? Do I have to do a job? And then I said, no. You just have to say words, one sentence. And then I said, I let him repeat after me, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. So then he began repeating it in Arabic and English. In English, I swear that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet and slave. This German guy, the one that I just now talked about, I found him in Switzerland. He's German, and that happened maybe 3 months or 2. Let's go far back. Maybe about 3 years ago, there was a Kenyan from Kenya, a maid of my aunt and my mother's side. So she had this maid. She's from Kenya, and she said that Jesus. She began kissing her hand and doing the cross. So I said, don't do it at this home. It's forbidden. You shouldn't have to do it in public with us. So then I began explaining it. I showed the book of Islam, and then I began reading it. And then she said, this is I think it's a true religion. After that, she began crying, and she said, I want to be a Muslim. I began saying the words, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And then she began crying, and then she said, then I said, say takbir, and then she said, Allahu Akbar.
Where did you learn this? How did you?
In school.
In school. Wow. Okay, go on. Tell us more about the other stories, the other 2.
The latest woman that I converted was Kenyan, the same thing, and my aunt's maid, but my mother's side. Not the same aunt, she's a different one. She's another one. So I began talking to her, and then she said that you have strong faith, and then I began explaining more and more, but I can't go in details. It's a long story. And then after maybe 2 days, she began thinking about it, and then she came to me and said, how can I be a Muslim? And then I said the sentence, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, in Arabic and English, and I let her repeat it after me. About the 4th one. It was in a train, in a subway, while we were in Italy. He was holding the Bible. So then he was in front of me, in the subway. The seats in front of me, were on opposite sides. And then he said, you don't look like the people over here. And then I said, yes, I'm Saudi. And then I said, what's your religion, boy? And then I said, my religion is Islam. And he said, you're not a Christian? I said, no, and I will never be, and I'm not interested. And then he said, why don't you try? I will tell you about it. And then he began explaining, and I said, I cannot. I have strong faith, and I'll never get back. I'll never throw my religion away. My religion is strong, and I'll never leave it. Even if I have a lot of palaces and your money, I don't care. I won't. So then I began. Then after he explained. Then I said, "Why? I'll try my turn." So then I began explaining, and he still had a book. A book that was in my mom's bag. So then I took it out and I showed the Islam book. So I began reading, and then each lesson, then questions. Then I didn't have the Quran, which was our book, our holy book. So then I said there is a Quran, and so he began. He was very surprised about the education and how small am I. And he began saying that how can if I'm going to hell and I'm a Christian, how can you prove it? And then I said, what should I start with? And then he said from the book. Then I opened the book and I let him read to me. So then he read, and then he was so afraid about the last day. And then he said that I really want to be a Muslim from your strong faith and all of that. And so I didn't tell him about the Prophet or anything. But then after when I made him Muslim, I said, say the sentence in English and Arabic. Then he said, thank you. Thank you so much. I learned a lot. And I'll try to be a good Muslim and a leader.
So he requested to be a Muslim before you...
He was telling me about the Christianity, which I was not interested.
No, but did he say that I'd like to be a Muslim?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh.
I was so surprised.
Wow. And did you ever see any dreams or anything after any of these incidents?
I saw the dream that I saw the Prophet.
Can you tell us a little bit about this, please?
When I was in a white world. Then I found the man. Then I said like that. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله محمد عبده ورسوله. Then he began saying like this. He was nodding his head. Then the dream was over.
So you saw the Prophet, peace be upon him.
I saw the Prophet.
What happened? Like, did you...
No, nothing. Just he was nodding his head. He was happy.
Okay. And where are you originally from?
My nationality is Saudi Arabia.
And what city are you from?
I'm from Canada.
From Canada. Okay. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your time.